Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, Champion Sports Talk. Here with my man Joey Martin. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, brother. Ready to go again.
That's right. Before we get started this week, I wanted to say thank you to everybody out there. We weren't sure if we were going to do the show today, but we decided to just go ahead and do it and try to keep moving forward. But I just want to say a genuine thank you to everybody out there who's been keeping my family in their prayers. It's a tough time for us with the Watson situation, but thank you for everybody out there. Thank you for everybody who was on this whole journey with us. It's been a lot of awesome people around here.
Absolutely. And what a legacy in the short time he had.
Yeah,
there. Wow.
And those are the things that we have to look at moving forward. But we didn't know if we were going to do it today, but I said, man, I think it's important to get some normalcy.
Like in a routine.
But thank y'all for that. Now, I think it'd be good to talk some ball today.
That sounds good.
So, as always, we're driven by Sango GMC, my buddy Mark over there. We do this every Thursday morning at 10:30 right here at Magnolia Bluff Casino, Playmakers, Sports Bar and Grill. The beautiful room here. I'm looking at all the TVs.
Yes, indeed. Hard not to.
Yeah, it's no doubt about that. And then I see on our menu today we've got buffalo quesadillas coming up today.
Okay.
So all we got to do is get through the show, and then we're fed. We're good. So we will work for food.
Absolutely.
That's right. So thank you to all of our awesome partners out there who helped make this show possible, including Concordia Sentinel, Magnolia Bluffs Casino, Wardos, all of those guys out there. Thank you to all the people out there who make it possible. Joey, I think I'm going to pass it over to you, and let's get started on a little local talk.
Sounds good. I wanted to start out saying, don't listen to my picks. I am 0-3.
Hold on, let me interrupt. I'm going to pass it over to Joey Goose Egg Martin. Okay. now you may start.
So not only did I pick the favorite and the favorite not cover, they lost. The Bears, Alabama, and whoever I picked last week. So the good thing, at least I didn't pick Aaron Rodgers as my MVP. I didn't jinx him. That's not on me. I did pick Josh Allen, and he laid an egg. So maybe that's on me anyway.
Yeah.
But, the people who cheered when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, come on now. I don't like to see anyone get hurt.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Heck, I used to cringe from the old cheer back in my days. I say that a lot now, back in my day. The old cheer, blood makes the grass grow, kill. And I'm like, what? Do we really want somebody to bleed that bad to make the grass grow? Come on now. I mean, I used to like the old cheer, pork chop, greasy, our team can beat your team, easy.
Yeah.
That was my day. Come on. And, of course, going to Faraday games at the old Cracker Box gym on Florida Street in 88 and 89 when they won state. 2 minutes left in the game, they're blowing somebody out, and the fans would pull out their keys and jingle them and say, get your hat, your coat, and leave to the other team's fans. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah. Faraday's always had a little intimidation going.
You're right. But anyway, we can start off with softball. We're getting to South State tournament is next Saturday.
Okay.
Cathedral lost to Copiah 3-0 Monday to finish second in district.
That was a big one that we've been kind of looking forward
they had to win by at least 5 runs, but Copiah swept them in 2 games. So then they fell to Oak Forest 10-0 Tuesday, which Oak Forest is a good team. Now, Cathedral will play Oak Forest in the South State tournament next Saturday in Vicksburg. Now, AC lost a tough one, 4-3 to St. Al Monday. Of course, Savannah came from St. Al, so that was a tough loss, I'm sure, for her. They finished as the number 4 team, which they get that last spot, and it looks like they'll play Brookhaven next Saturday.
They
did make the South State tournament, and they'll play Brookhaven, which is a tough task, but, get in there, who knows.
And they've got a pretty young team, so this will be –
right.
I think it's pretty important that even if anything can happen once you get in, but even if, as a coach, even if you're like, I don't think we can make a run this year, but it's always good to get that experience in the class. That way,
that is huge.
When you do get in there next year, it's not everybody's first time
right.
to do it.
Exactly.
the motions.
Exactly. And we're going to try to have Craig on next Thursday to talk about the tournament. So I look forward to that.
Good. So what's going on with the with all of our local football teams?
Okay,
we're a couple of weeks in with everybody.
Yeah,
So
at least so. Yeah. Of course, the big news is Vidalia and Faraday get to play on their new fields tomorrow night. So we're excited about that. And they actually moved the Sicily Island game. They're playing Oberlin to tonight because of the referee shortage.
Okay.
So I think we're seeing that a lot more now. But
yeah.
But after winning a wild shootout, not a shootout, but it was a defensive struggle with Cedar Creek, 14-12 last Friday. Big win for Vidalia there. I mean, and I wasn't going to say it out loud. I don't like putting pressure on kids, but I've told people that Cedar Creek game is huge as far as Vidalia's future.
Yeah.
Because win that, and, that sets a good tone, and it was huge for them. Of course, they're hosting Block tomorrow night. So that should be a good game. Block always seems to bring out their best against Vidalia.
They do. They always have.
Now, Faraday is welcoming Bastrop, and they're looking for their first win. They lost a tough one last week as well.
Faraday 0-2 right now?
0-2. They lost.
They played up, right?
Yeah, they lost Peabody last week. So they're playing up again. But, this is time to get straight and get going.
Yeah.
You got I got to mention today again, Lewis Jordan had a 70-yard punt return.
Yeah.
And then he intercepted a pass in the end zone. So big game for him. Good kid. I know you know Lewis.
Yeah. Now Lewis is my that's my buddy, man.
Yeah.
Lewis and I've taken Lewis to LSU. We've been to Pelican games. I mean, he was in my class whenever he was in. I think I had him in 7th and 8th grade when I was teaching over in Vidalia. And
well, Josh West even told me we need to get it in his hands more.
Yeah, he's always been a good kid, and he's a good player, man.
Yeah,
he's a leader,
right?
And he's a very good player. He's strong. He's smart. So I'm expecting a lot of good things from Lewis.
Absolutely,
great kid. I love seeing those guys.
And we don't talk about these guys much, but Vidalia's punter, Ephraim Clark, had a couple inside the 10 that were huge and led to a safety.
Yeah.
That was a difference in the game.
Yeah.
So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, you don't really talk about the kicking game much when it comes to
Vidalia. Usually, yeah. Yeah, especially, yeah.
Oh. Okay, so got some other games going on this week.
Okay.
We got Delta Charter, 2-0. Boy, I tell you, that was one of the best games I've seen last week. They beat the Willow 14-10. Just a real entertaining game. Both teams had fumbles inside the 5, and it came down to the end. Delta Charter got the stop at the end to win it. But they're now 2-0, and they host Glenbrook Academy of Minden, who's a really good team. This will be a big test for them.
So this will be a big challenge for them.
Absolutely, yeah. And it should be another good one.
And where's this game?
That's going to be at Faraday.
In Faraday, okay.
Yeah.
They've had quite a few home games.
They have. Yeah. They played 2 home games, yeah.
Okay.
So that's big. And, of course, Bastrop, we were talking about them against Faraday. They lost to Franklin Parish and defeated Delhi Charter. So, I mean, they're a good team that's going to be tough.
Okay.
Hank Washington's back there as their coach. But speaking of Franklin Parish, I got to talk about a wide receiver they've got, Javian White, committed to Tulane. He's an exceptional athlete. He had 2 return scores, 75-yard kickoff return in the 4th quarter, 153 receiving yards, 2 scores on 4 catches, and they've got a sophomore quarterback. And people were telling me about him last year before he even stepped on the field because they had Bryce Curtis, and he had a big game, 20 for 39, 525 yards.
Wow.
So remember that name, Desiree and Ellis. Remember that name because he's – now we got ACCS. They put on their dancing shoes early last week as they went past Brookhaven 40-8 in their homecoming win. Rebels are 4-1 now. They led 34-0 at half. Adrian Walker, Adrian.
Yeah.
He broke loose on a 64-yard run to start things off. Coleman Carter had a big game, and as well as Damian Johnson. So Jordan Berry also, Caden Collin, and Sean Carey Cawthorn. They all had big games. They play.
Sounds like a lot of people had a big game.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. AC plays at Oak Forest tomorrow night. That's huge because Oak Forest is really, really good. So this game's going to be a war. It's going to be very physical. I can't wait to see the outcome of that.
Where's Oak Forest located?
That's in Amite, Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah. And the Yellow Jackets defeated Cathedral 46-14 last week.
Okay.
Cathedral hits the road, goes to Brookhaven, so it's a well-needed win waiting for them there, hopefully. But you got to take care of business.
That's right, man. Got to do it.
Those kind of games, you got to focus on yourself and not the other team. Because how many times have we seen just kids walk in and, oh, we got this, and then they're in a struggle. And But Cathedral's Cam Tanner had a big game. He had a 65-yard drive to start the second half, and Grayson Gay as well, and Matt Kaiser. So, good luck to the Greenway. They need this win now.
Yeah, what's their record so far?
I think they're 1-2 now.
1-2.
Yeah. Now, Natchez had a heartbreaker, lost 38-32 in double overtime up in Vicksburg. But, they showed a lot of heart in that loss, though. Troy Jones, running back, scored first touchdown in overtime, and then the Bulldogs had a turnover on their second overtime, which was the difference. But they visit 6A Ocean Springs tomorrow night. And interesting thing about that is former South Natchez baseball standout Michael Lindsay. He was one of the best catchers I've ever seen in the Miss Lou. He is the superintendent of schools in Ocean Springs, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
But, good luck to Steve Davis. He certainly earns or should actually needs a win big, and nobody deserves it more than him as hard as he's worked.
Yeah.
One other note from down the road, Mangum, which competes in the same district with Vidalia and Faraday, they lost to Sterlington 41-0 last week. First time Mangum had been shut out since 2017.
Wow.
Just a great program. So, good luck. Scott Wilson's such a great guy, too. But you want to talk about some local guys on the college front?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Now, Southern lost to Jackson State. Kobe Dillon, who missed all of last year for an ACL, didn't play because he turned his ankle against Alabama State. He's had some tough luck. Hopefully he'll be back soon. Lewis Matthews of Faraday, he had 5 tackles for Grambling, and they're 72-10 loss to LSU. I was talking to Lewis's dad, Slick, and he said, I told him, Lewis, you're playing a half and that's it. No. Lewis said, yep, sure enough. I got in the dressing room. The coach said, you're not going to the second half. We don't need you to get hurt.
Yeah, save you. That's right.
Jacarius Caston had 2 catches for 23 yards, and Southern Mississippi 66-13 lost to Florida State. Florida State seems to be the real deal here.
Yeah, they seem to,
And Caston went to ACCS. But like I say, if we're missing somebody, give us a call. Samaje Hayes, I don't think, got in the game for Louisiana Christian, even though they rolled over their opponent. But, let us know about anybody else we're missing.
Okay, yeah. Is that it on the local front
that's
right
it.
now?
That's it.
So, just we want to just say that we're pulling for all the local teams before we switch it over to college. That I know everybody's record isn't what they may want it to be. But all the coaches around here, I've said it before on this show, I think all the coaches are good coaches, and they're all good guys.
Exactly.
And we here at Champion Sports Talk, we're pulling for all the local teams, and we're pulling for the teams and the individuals because they all deserve it. And we just encourage you guys, even if the record's not what you want it to be right now, no reason to hang your head, man. Just keep moving forward and keep putting in the work because
it's kind of like me baking picks.
That's right, man. You just gotta keep putting in the work. Eventually, you're gonna get it right.
There you go. The odds have to be.
What they say, even a broken clock is right a couple times a day. So, all right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk a little college ball. And you don't know what section that we have coming up yet, but what I'm gonna do is we're a couple of weeks into college ball, so I'm gonna throw a few things at you, and you tell me if I'm overreacting or not.
Fine.
So we'll be right back after a quick break. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. I want to tell you about our awesome partners, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chiks. Hicks Chiks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know they are also open to the public? Hicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options, like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish. And don't forget about their famous TNT burgers that are already pattied up for you and their amazing dessert options. So go see the awesome team at Hicks Chiks at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Natchez. Hicks Chiks, way more than just chicken.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here you will find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We're out at our awesome partners, Gregg Veterinary Clinic, and we are in the back in the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. I'm standing in the Magnolia Bell Suite, which is one of 5 elite boarding suites available to your 4-legged furry friends when you travel this summer. Each suite comes with a private bed, flat screen TV, 24/7 video monitoring, and a sliding door so your pet feels like they're home. They provide one-on-one walking and activities in a fenced-in private backyard. So call Gregg Vet Hospital today and request your pet suite at the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. They'll leave the light on for you. Call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today. All right, we are back at Champion Sports Talk, and we're going to dive into a little college ball.
Yeah, that didn't work.
For the week. Oh, hold on, this is somebody calling. This is Mel Tucker. I'm definitely not going to answer that one.
Put it on, yeah. Put it on block. Block it.
Put that one down.
Block it.
So let's. I had to get that joke.
How did Mel get your number, man?
Man, I tell you what. I was reading a message board and they were talking about the Mel Tucker situation, and they were like, "It is funny that he's owed a lot of money and his record's not too good." And everybody's joke was, "I wonder what they're going to come up with Jimbo here soon." Things like that are always.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny timing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
Let's dive into a little bit before we get into the overreaction or not.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about our Tigers for the week. Did we learn anything this past week, or?
I think we learned that Logan Diggs is going to be a hoss.
He ran well.
He did, and of course now you got John Emery back Saturday, so it's going to be interesting to see how he uses these guys and how much time they get running the ball. So
yeah, I saw where Brian Kelly was talking about coach. Hopefully it's not coach speak, but he's talking about we got to get Harold Perkins back to where he's comfortable and just let him play fast. I don't think this experiment is working.
No.
I get maybe you're trying to teach him new things for the next level and stuff like that, but I mean, you're entering the SEC. I mean, your job is to win games here.
Yeah, I just still don't understand what the thinking was to begin with.
Yeah.
You guys are getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah, and we were talking about the spread on this game coming up this week. I don't know if we learned a lot about LSU this past week.
Probably not.
Daniels always does well against those teams, those smaller schools. But my key is going to be, is he going to get rid of the ball come Saturday, or is he going to hold it and rely on running? If he will get rid of the ball, LSU will win by 10 plus.
Yeah.
If he will get the ball and if he'll get it out, get it in the playmaker's hands. If he holds it and runs, honestly, I don't think LSU will win the game. Now, I mean, obviously that's a general statement.
But still, yeah.
But I'm saying overall, the more plays where he's holding the ball and running, that decreases our odds to win, in my opinion.
And I like the fact that Lance Hurd got in there and got a lot of playing time, and he's just going to be something else. I mean, that offensive line, you've got sophomore, 2 freshmen. I mean, that says a lot for the future. And how many high schools can say, hey, we've got 2 guys starting on the offensive line at a major college like Neville can with Will Campbell and Lance Hurd? That's quite an achievement.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think maybe they're starting to figure out some things on the line. Yeah. This is what they're figuring out. They're figuring out what didn't work.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, well, this definitely didn't work against Florida State. And honestly, I think after a couple of weeks in, I think Florida State's better than
they're legitimate.
Team.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a good team. So,
absolutely.
In that game, as I look back, it was a little bit closer. It got away at the end.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that Gramblin's first 2 drives were like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking about the Florida State game.
Oh, Florida State, yeah, okay.
Yeah, looking back at the LSU-Florida State game, it got away at the end, but
well, I was kind of disappointed with the effort at the end too.
Yeah,
it wasn't typical LSU fighting to the end.
Yeah,
that was very disappointing.
But the good news is they led at halftime. They know that they can play with teams like that. I think Florida State's potentially a playoff team, and LSU is saying, hey, we can stay on the field with them. Yes, it got away, but if we clean up a few things.
Yeah.
LSU is an interesting team right now because I think that they could finish middle of the pack in the SEC West.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Or I think they could still win the SEC
Yeah,
West,
I think they could win every game up to Alabama.
Yeah, just depending on how they clean things up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about our college picks and all that. It's been fun so far.
It's fun.
What a season so far. It's been a lot of unpredicted.
Right.
It's been a lot of things that nobody could have seen so far.
But boy, what a terrible weekend of college football this weekend.
Yeah.
When LSU and State's like your top game.
I know, a lot of donuts in there.
Yeah. And your top game nationally is Colorado State. And like,
yeah.
But the following week we got some good ones.
Yeah. So I want to say after a couple of weeks, I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
I'm going to make a couple of statements, and you tell me if you think it's an overreaction or not. So Clemson's run as a national contender under Dabo is over.
I'm going to say it's a bit of an overreaction because I still think they'll get the kids, but they definitely got problems. You have to wonder. And, this guy everybody was saying was going to be Nick Saban's successor. And now
the wheels are coming off
his
own.
They are. And, of course, the big picture with college football, all the super conferences, the parity's getting closer together. I still think Clemson will be a team you have to watch and respect. But, there is reason for concern.
You think that they can be a top 10 team moving forward?
I think they can. They can.
Alabama's playoff chances for this year are done.
Yeah, well, everybody said that last year. And if they'd have beat LSU, they'd have probably been in. So I think that's an overreaction because they're going to get better. And I think Milroe's going to get more comfortable in there, and that's huge. But, I still think they could get in the playoffs.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they respond. I think Texas is a good team.
But have you seen all these reports about Saban that supposedly he's going to resign at the end of the year and retire?
He just bought a big house in Florida, I'll tell you that. It's probably not his only big house, but he just bought another big house.
Yeah, right.
Well, that leads us to this. We all know Georgia's back-to-back. They're the new dynasty.
Right.
But Alabama is
right there.
We all have PTSD as college football fans. We all still have PTSD for this last decade of Alabama.
But Nick Saban has to hate this NIL stuff, this transfer stuff.
Yeah. So this is my statement, and we'll get into that.
Okay.
The Saban dynasty is over.
I think there's some validity to that. I do really do because of the teams coming up, and what are these recruits going to do? Well, I don't think he's going to be around much. So I don't think they didn't really have a typical recruiting year that Alabama does this past year. So, I agree with that.
Well, I think there's some I think there's multiple factors here at play. I think his age is starting to come into factor. I think the NIL stuff makes it to where he's not able to necessarily stockpile as many players as he was. I think the transfer thing is big.
It's huge.
Because, guys aren't going to sit there for 2 or 3 years and develop and then step on the field as even a year anymore. Mm-hmm. If a freshman's not playing, if it's a 5-star and he's not playing, you got other coaches calling him, whether it's legal or not. You got other coaches texting and calling, getting their message to these kids however they have to do it, saying, hey, you're on the field every play over here.
Yeah.
And
you should be.
You're sitting on you're sitting on the bench over there. We got you on the field over here.
Right.
And kids these days, they want to play ball.
Yeah.
So I think that hurts. I think that hurts everybody. I think that as far as trying to build a dynasty, I don't think it's exclusive to Nick Saban or Alabama. I think it's going to end up it's just going to be harder to stay at the top, I think.
I agree.
There's
you know what? I haven't seen him.
To the coin, I guess.
I haven't seen any real meltdown from him either, which is un-Saban-like.
Yeah. I was just about to say on the other thing, the other side of that coin, I think, is teams like Alabama, Georgia, even LSU as we get back, fingers crossed. On one side of the transfer coin and the NIL coin, these schools have all the money, and they can attract anybody. They can cherry pick from these mid-tier teams and say, I'll take your best player here and I'll take your best player here. So that's an advantage to the larger schools. But then, like we just said, the guys who aren't playing, they're going to the mid school.
And they're behind a guy who may be a sophomore or junior.
Yeah.
So,
so it's really just this carousel, and nobody knows where it's going to end right now.
Speaking of NIL, you see what Olivia Dunn is worth?
A lot more than I'll probably ever be.
$4 million. Wow.
Okay, so let's dive to the next one.
Okay.
I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this. This will be Jimbo Fisher's last year at Texas A&M.
I believe that. I mean, I don't see them getting to the level everybody expected. And look how much they're paying him. And I can see that happening. I'm sure the Aggie fans are just tired of this high expectations and laying eggs.
If there's a school out there that can afford to write somebody a $70 million check, you think Coach O said, tell me what time and tell me which door to leave? You think he said that for 15?
Yeah.
Think about how quick Jimbo can't wait to get out.
That's right. And you could call your buddy Mel Tucker and good enough.
If I'm Jimbo right now, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
I'm because they're going to be looking for a way to get out of that contract.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think you're right. I think that there's some validity. I mean, they took a pretty good little whipping the other day to a Miami team that is hyped every year. Maybe they are good this year, but maybe Texas A&M slipping back into that same pattern that we've seen.
Right.
I mean, if you really look at Jimbo Fisher's career, outside of when he had Jameis and the running back is slipping my mind, but
Travis Henry, was it Travis Henry? I know you're talking about.
Yeah, but outside of Jameis and that team and some of those guys, some of those real stud players, he's been
ATN was another one.
Mediocre to slightly above average, if you want to give him that. That's about the best you could say for him, is slightly above average.
And now you got Texas and Oklahoma coming in next year, so it gets tougher.
Yeah, and if there's one thing about Texas A&M that they're going to hate more than anything, that's getting whipped by Texas.
Right.
And Texas is
going up,
trajecting up.
Right.
And so I think there's over a 50% chance as of today.
I agree with that.
Fishers. I don't think they're going to finish. I think they're going to finish with 4 or 5 losses this year.
I can see that.
I got a couple more here. Florida State is a playoff team.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I haven't looked at the rest of the schedule. I can't imagine it being much tougher than what they started out with. And I would say yes, definitely a playoff team.
They've got Clemson coming up.
Mm-hmm.
think next week maybe. They've got. I know their first 4 games.
North Carolina will be a huge game.
North Carolina will be a big game for them. Maybe Miami's better than I think.
Yeah.
We'll see how Clemson shows up against Florida State. It wouldn't surprise me with the way we're looking so far if Florida State put a whipping on them.
It wouldn't me either.
Those guys, they've done a very good job in the transfer portal and NIL.
Right.
And they got a lot of guys that came back.
Right.
And those are the teams sometimes that you watch when you get a group of really good players that come back and they say, we're coming back for one reason. A lot of times those guys really dial in.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's what's happening at Florida State. I think they're a playoff team. I think that I really think they might run the table in the ACC.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Yeah, I think I think they could probably lose one game and still have a shot, depending, because this seems like one of those 2007 years where it's going to be a lot of chaos.
Right.
And I don't know that. That's why I don't think Alabama's necessarily out of it.
Right.
I don't think LSU's necessarily out of it, even though I could see LSU losing 4 or 5 games this year, or that I could see them running the table all the way to the championship game. Yeah. But this is going to be one of those crazy years that I think we get to the end, and there's going to be some teams with losses that more teams with losses than undefeated teams.
Right.
I guess. My last one that I have here is. And this conference has actually been really impressive so far. Tell me if I'm overreacting or not. Colorado is a contender to win the Pac-12 this year.
I was fixing to turn that around and ask you that. I don't think they're a contender. I think they can win even 8 games. I think some teams, nobody's been able to see what they do or how to defend them, and now they're seeing that.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see teams better prepared for them. I don't think they'll be a playoff team, but I still think they can win 7 or 8 games.
Which they were, they won 1 last year, and they were predicted to win 3, I believe, this year. So 8 wins would be a huge.
Absolutely.
I mean, that would be 8-4 would be a huge win for those guys. I saw something. Dion just cracks me up, man. I love him, hate him, whatever. And they said, have you taken any time to celebrate these wins and this and that? And he said something to the effect of Santa Claus got to deliver the gifts, no time to eat the cookies or something like that. And that's what makes Dion. And that's what makes everybody either love him or hate him, whatever you feel.
So how long do you think he'll be at Colorado?
That's a good question. He's going to have some opportunities. If he wins 8 games this year, he's going to have a lot of opportunities. He's going to have a lot of big boys calling him.
Right.
And is he loyal to Colorado because they gave him his opportunity? Colorado's not a bad place to live either.
Right.
And then the expectations there.
Right.
He could recruit 5 stars into Colorado and dominate that conference for years to come, or be right there at the top of that conference. Or his options. You're going to have maybe Florida Gators calling. I mean, heck, you might have Alabama calling. I mean, who knows? I mean,
absolutely.
Some people might laugh at that and say, Dion coaching at Alabama, that would be the craziest thing. This is the world we live in now.
That's right.
And I mean, and he's doing a good job.
He would bring in the players.
As an LSU fan, who scares you more? Who out there that Alabama, say Nick Saban retired right now, who scares you more than Deion Sanders coming in to take over at Alabama?
Yeah, I agree.
If you really break it down, I mean,
I don't think they'd miss a step.
I mean, because he's going to surround himself with excellent staff, which he's already done. His recruiting potential is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought about this week. There's not a coach out there that scares me more going into Alabama or Florida or one of those. Florida's a sleeping giant. Yeah. I mean, Florida could turn this thing around like that. I mean, they've got all the talent in their own backyard.
Yeah, all the resources they need.
Yeah. And I've seen where Deion's been beefing with Florida State a little bit lately, and so he may do the job.
How wild would that be?
That would be. So, but anyway, I think it's interesting. We'll see. I think you're right. I agree with you on. I think 8 wins is a good mark for Deion. real quick, I'm just going to pass it over to you. I don't know what to think about this game this weekend. What are your thoughts on the LSU Mississippi State game?
Well, I think it's going to be close, very close. I'd see a field goal difference. Let's face it, LSU in morning games, their history in morning games, they had not played well.
Yeah.
Mississippi State has a lot of momentum going, and let's face it, the passing game Mississippi State can give LSU fits.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So I think it's close, and State, I wouldn't surprise me to see them pull it out.
Yeah. I think it's. I looked at the spread earlier, and some people have it at 10. They have it at
9.5.
9.5 here at the Magnolia Bluff Playmakers books, but 9.5, 10. I think they're both way too high. Personally,
Yeah,
I hope
agree.
I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be a field goal game either way.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, whenever we come back, what we'll do is. Some interesting stuff already. 1 week of the NFL. NFL is like soap opera for me. It's always something happening. It never ends. And there's already some interesting storylines.
Yeah.
So whenever we get back, we'll dive into that.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
We'll be right back after a message from our partners. All right, guys, we are back with Champion Sports Talk.
Before we get to the NFL, I don't know if many people have seen this, but they've come out with the SEC TV games for next Saturday.
Okay.
And, man, 11 a.m. Auburn at Texas A&M, ESPN. 11 a.m. Kentucky at Vanderbilt, SEC Network. 2:30 Ole Miss at Alabama on CBS. We can have a good time talking about that game next week.
Yeah.
UTSA is at Tennessee at 3 p.m. on the SEC Network. Arkansas at LSU, 6 p.m. game. That's going to be on ESPN. Yeah. Charlotte at Florida, 6 p.m. Mississippi State at South Carolina, 6:30 on the SEC Network. UAB at Georgia, ESPN2 at 6:30. And Memphis versus Missouri, 6:30 on ESPNU. Yeah. So, man, looking forward to next week.
So that's not this week.
That's next Saturday.
The next coming. Okay.
Right.
And it's funny that you said before we get into Pro Talk, let's a little bit more college, because we just had a note from one of our fans.
Yeah, I heard about
that. Craig dropped off. And
Craig dropped off.
It was one of our many fans. You know, we've got dozens of fans out there. I don't know if you know that, but we're into the dozens now. That is including family members, though.
Okay.
But I think we're at like 13 fans right now. But hey, that's a start. That's not bad.
That's
for guys like us. We'll take it.
We'll take it.
So it was one of 13 people that sent this in, but it says, "Dear Champion Sports Talk, could you please get Mr. Joey Goose Egg Martin to pick Mississippi State to beat LSU, so that I can be sure that my LSU Tigers will win. Thanks, Champion Sports Talk fan." So.
Would you take that down to resources and have them analyze that?
Fingerprint it. Yeah. So you're making a real difference here in people's lives. You're giving people what not to do, and that's it. That's a thing, man.
That's something to count on.
Making a difference. That's it.
I'll do my best to keep that streak going.
Champion Sports Talk, where you get your information of what not to do.
What not to do.
That's right.
Who not to pick.
That's right. So let's dive into the NFL a little bit, man. After this segment, we've got Mr. Alan Carter, HR manager, that's going to be coming on. He's sitting over here with his Bears jersey on. So we have to talk a little Bears when he comes on. But NFL, like I said a while ago, it's soap opera for men.
It is.
The world it's as the world turns, as the NFL turns. And even after week one, we've got storyline after storyline.
Yeah.
The funniest thing that I saw from the weekend was there was a bar in Wisconsin that said, if the Jets lose, everybody's bar tab is covered. So all these Packers fans show up. Aaron Rodgers goes down, and they just start drinking. They're just like shots and stuff, and they're like free alcohol for everybody, pretty much. The Jets come back and win, and all the fans are going, "Oh no!" Not only did the team that they were not pulling for win, they were like, "No, we have to pay this tab that we ran up." So that was the funniest thing that I saw this week.
What else is there to do in Wisconsin?
That's true.
I just lost that fan.
But, yeah, I don't think we're into Wisconsin yet. I think we're on like 3 streets in Natchez. But speaking of the Aaron Rodgers injury, what a storyline, man.
That's terrible.
Did he play 3-4 snaps?
4 snaps. 4 snaps. He got that cleat caught, and wow, that's terrible. I see he's talking about coming back next year, and I wouldn't expect anything different from him. But boy, that's going to be a long year for him to have to watch from the sideline.
Well, that's what that's one of the questions that I was going to ask is, he's 39. He's almost 40. He'll be 40 in a couple of weeks, I think, or a couple of months. He's right there knocking on 40's door. We both know what 40 means. It's I always joke. People say, "Man, it's all downhill at 40." Uh-huh. I was like 8 hours into 40, and I was like, "Oh man, I've hurt myself." So I was like, "Man, how did my body know I just turned 40?"
Yeah, can't imagine taking that beating every Sunday.
I mean, it's kind of become a little bit normal with. Expectations have changed a little bit with Tom Brady just being a freak and playing until 45 and stuff like that. But traditionally, man.
And I know you've seen the Brady in the Jets uniform.
Yeah. 38, 39, 40 is.
That's unreal.
That's tough, man.
It really is.
So I guess my question is, do you think it's the end of the run for Rodgers?
I don't. I think this is going to motivate him even more, and he don't want to go out this way. So he'll be back. And, he's got to feel bad for the Jets, put all that into him, and so, he'll be back.
Yeah. I think it's Achilles is one of the tougher injuries, but with it's not as detrimental as it used to be, I
Right.
guess, with the advances that
I
they
like
have.
that ACL tear or something like that.
Yeah, so I would say I'm about 50-50 right now.
Okay.
Part of me is thinking, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, do I really want to go through all this and come back and another training camp, fight back from this injury? I've got a lot of money. I could ride off into the sunset. But I don't know. I probably agree with you. If I had to tilt it one way or the other, I think he may come back for one more run.
And you know, it's what a lot of athletes aspire to, playing in New York and being, you know, if you're king of New York, man.
Yeah.
So I don't see him stepping down.
So after week one, and after seeing the that game in particular featuring the Jets and the Bills, what happened to Aaron Rodgers, the Jets coming back and beating the Bills, and then you look at what the Dolphins were able to do, and you look at how well Tua played and how that receiving group they have.
Yeah.
Does this mean that the Dolphins are now are they the best team in the East?
I would put them right up there.
The Bills?
Well, the Bills certainly didn't look that great. So yeah, I would say Miami's at the top right now.
I think this certainly moves them ahead of the Jets.
Yeah.
Now, the Jets, I don't think the world's coming down for the Jets. They've got a good defense.
Right.
But I think this certainly puts – I think the Jets and the Dolphins were kind of –
right there.
Right there for everybody. But I also think that we all sort of put the Bills up there at the top just because we felt like that's what we were supposed to do. I did it myself. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, are the Bills really that much better than the Dolphins?
Not right now.
The Bengals whipped their tail in the playoffs last year. Josh Allen, I saw a stat where Josh Allen has more turnovers than any other quarterback in the league since he entered the league, which is not conducive to winning a lot of Super Bowls.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I think the Dolphins are interesting. I think that they may be the best team in that division.
Tua stays healthy.
If he can stay upright. Another thing that I've noticed that the Dolphins are doing is Tua's not running around trying to extend plays. They've been very smart. The coaching staff of the Dolphins, he's either handing it off or getting rid of the ball. You know, that's so I heard somebody say that on Sports Talk, and I went back and watched some highlights, and I realized, I was like, yeah, they're doing this on purpose. They're getting the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible. Which is what I would like to see LSU doing with Daniels, to be honest. Even though he can run, I would like to see them do the same thing. How quick can you get this ball out of your hands?
Yeah.
LSU would be so dangerous if he could do that.
He could do that, absolutely.
But what about the Bengals? They took one on the chin. Burrow didn't look very good. Well, what does that mean for the Bengals? Is it time to worry, or?
I think you have to have some concerns, and especially with Burrow kind of coming off that calf injury, and they didn't look real good. But you know, I think they struggled early last year, so I think that once they'll get into their groove and they'll be back at the top of that conference. But yeah, they didn't look good.
So you don't think it's panic time?
I don't see it being panic time.
And another thing with Burrow is he's always struggled against the Browns for whatever reason.
Right.
I think he's either winless or has one win. I think he's like 1-5 now, or 0-5 or something like that against the Browns. So Drew Brees had those teams. It was just those weird teams that just
Brady could never beat the Saints.
Yeah. And then lastly on the NFL talk, real quick. How about them Cowboys, man? Lord, I hate to say that.
They looked good. They really did. And I mean, you got to put them up there near the top too. I mean,
now last week we made our predictions, and I said predicted the Eagles to win, and now I think the Cowboys are going to come in second in the division, but I said I think they're going to come in third because I like to stir the pot.
You were stirring.
But clearly, any Cowboys fans out there, I always think about my buddy Fred over there, Marcellus. Clearly, they have a free shot at me now after trying to stir the pot. I stirred it on the wrong week, I think.
Where are those emails?
40-0, man. So I guess my question to you before we get into our last segment of the show is this the typical overreaction to the Cowboys that we see every year, where people crown them early?
Yeah.
Or are they legit Super Bowl contenders?
I think it all rides on Dak Prescott. If he can play like that every week, but you never know which Dak is going to show up. So I'm holding off on getting big behind the Cowboys just to see how they can do week to week.
Yeah, I think right now the 49ers look really good.
Huge win for the Saints.
Huge win for the Saints. Yeah.
We got Monday night here. I think they're really.
Yeah, they are. They are going to do our friends over at 95 Country. Margaret and her crew are going to be here Monday night at Magnolia Bluff Casino right here in the Playmakers Sports Lounge. Now they did. I ran into Thomas yesterday, and he said we're going to put a sheet over your head. We're going to leave Joey's, but we're going to put a sheet over your head. So I said, man, look, I'm not even going to blame you. I can't blame you for covering that thing up. But but they're going to be here Monday night.
That's a huge game.
Big Saints party here. I'm going to try to come out and hang out.
I mean, these are the two teams you're expecting one of them to win it. That's right. That's huge.
That's right. I think that was a pretty good win for. I don't know how great the Titans are, but I do know that the Titans always have a good defense.
Yeah.
And they always have a good defensive line.
Yeah. So
I think the Saints, I think Carr showed us a lot. I think the line showed us a lot.
Defensive backs.
And I think that Derrick Henry is a force for anybody. And I think our defense looked really good.
I'm concerned about Trevor Penning. I know Dennis Allen is not, but I'm like, man, he's got to get a lot better.
Yeah. I think we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting year for the Saints, but I think this Monday night will kind of set the tone in the division.
I agree. Yeah.
That division's been disrespected a lot,
rightfully
so. I don't think there's a great team in that division, but still, somebody's got to win it. Somebody's gonna make the playoffs, and it'll be a fun season.
That'll be a huge road win, if they could pull it off.
Yeah. So come down here to Magnolia Bluffs Monday night and catch a Saints game.
6 o'clock games.
Is it 6 o'clock? Okay. Like I said, our friends over at 95, Margaret, shout Margaret out. We'll be putting that on, and we'll try to be here ourselves. When we come back after this break, we're going to have the Bears over there in his jersey, Mr. Alan Carter, who's the HR manager. He's going to tell us a little bit about any of you guys out there that may be thinking about a career change or starting something new or something fun and interesting. He's going to tell us a little bit about that. Probably end up talking a little ball with him too.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back after this quick break.
Playtime, game time. Anytime is a good time at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. Play for your chance to win our $80,000 Wheel and Deal giveaway with free play and cash prizes. It's time to win big at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
All right, guys, we are back with Champion Sports Talk with me and my man Joey Martin, and we've got our friend Mr. Alan Carter from Magnolia Bluffs Casino.
Thank you.
HR manager. How are you?
Doing great, Greg. Glad to be here.
And as we can see, we got a Bears fan.
That's right.
So, Joey Goose Egg over here, as we've called him this show, predicted the Bears to win last week. So,
I apologize.
So if you have a problem with it,
I think you could suit up for the band.
Yeah, I think I could. But I don't know how much better I'm going to help him out, but might help stop him tackling my man, Mr. Fields. So we'll see.
We're gonna dive in a second and talk about some stuff right here at the casino, what you do, and how some other people can be involved here at the casino. But real quick, since we are a sports talk show, I want you to talk a little bit about your Bears and what are you expecting this season? What would be a good season for you? Can't say Super Bowl.
No, we can't say Super Bowl. But a respectable season at this point, somewhere around 8-9 wins would be great. We've got to do something about that offensive scheme. I want everyone to relax. It is week one. It is week one. We're caught up in the emotions of,
losing
There you go. I mean, our Super Bowl in Chicago is the 2 games that we play with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
One at Soldier Field and one at Lambeau. So if we can get that next game, I think that'll help complete the season for us. But as far as Justin Fields, he's got to be able to make quicker decisions and see the field a little bit better. Things that we've been talking about for probably 3 years, but if we can just improve upon that this year, I think we'll go a long way.
Yeah.
Well, tell us some of your responsibilities here.
As the HR manager here, I oversee all of our staffing needs, our retention, as it relates to keeping our staff, making sure the community is aware that we're one of the best and largest employers within this area. So I take that job very seriously, and we've got great employees that help do the same.
Okay. And it says here, I always like to make my notes. It says a lot of the guys here, the guys and girls, the casino opened 12 years ago.
Yes.
And a lot of people have been here since.
Absolutely.
Since the whole...
we have a really good tenured staff here. They've been here for 12 years, most of them. We've got some that have been here 5 years, and we do a really good job of ensuring that, our employees feel like they're important because they are. It's a family-type atmosphere here. Although we're a casino as well as a hotel, we're sort of what we call a blended family, but we do a good job of communicating with each other and making sure that we help out our customers the best we can. Whenever
I look at any type of employer, whether it be me looking for a position or helping somebody else, one of the things that one of the things that weighs the most to me is retention.
Yes.
Is there a lot of turnover? And it seems like you guys have a good retention record.
Yes.
And that says a lot about the culture here.
That is actually true. We have a really diverse staff here. As you'll see, our vice president, he's from Chicago as well. We've got folks that have been to different industries and different jobs, and we bring all of those skill sets here, and it's for the betterment of the team. So as far as our morale and engagement, we're really fortunate to have a leadership team here that really, really embodies everything about being inclusive and diverse and making sure that the best ideas come out, all right? And that...
I say all the time, don't be right, get it right.
There you go.
It doesn't matter.
There you go. It doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter. Yeah. And we value that. Mm-hmm. And not just at our leadership, but even our frontline employees. We want to hear from them. And we actually have plans to have sessions where they're invited in and we can hear exactly the things that, hey, what's important to me? I believe this is going to be important to our staff as well. So we encourage that type of behavior.
Now, see, you've got the job fair in front of you if you want to talk about that.
Yes. So next Thursday, September 21st, at the Natchez Convention Center, which is right down the street, we will have a job fair. We certainly want to participate and be a good employer and vendor to the area. We've got a lot of jobs, and we're going to be there with our bells and whistles on and just ready to go.
And it says offering immediate interviews and on-the-spot hiring.
Yes. One thing that I take pride in is that we are very quick from the time of filling out an application to having an online interview, bringing you in, meeting the hiring manager, and getting you ready for work. And we try to do that all within 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're pretty quick, and I believe we're the best in the area in doing that.
Well, you guys, we say this almost every week, but one of the things that we really enjoy about coming in is it's so friendly in here. I mean, all of the employees have been nothing but good to us, and it's really we look forward to coming in because we feel like we're kind of part of the team now. So I can vouch personally for that. Although I'm not necessarily an employee, I feel like I'm part of the team.
Oh, it's great. That's great. It's easy when you like your job. Yeah, and it translates right out every day. So that's good to hear.
So just jobs are posted on the website, magnoliabluffscasino.com.
Yes, you can go to our website, apply at magnoliabluffs.com. One of our people from HR will give you a call within 24 hours, and we'll get an interview set up for you right there on the spot.
Awesome. Well, you have anything that you want to say to any last words that you want to say before we get out of here?
My Bears. No. Again, it's just week 1, folks. But we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Certainly, if you want to be a part of a great team, Magnolia Bluffs is a great place to start your career. If you're looking for a career change, come speak with us. We've got a lot of positions that we can fill, and we certainly need people to do it. We invite the community to come out. We're a community partner, and we're here to stay.
All right. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming out.
Thank
and
you.
I can vouch for everything this man's saying, except for the 8 wins for the Bears. Other than that, I can vouch for everything.
Thank you so much.
Hey, we'll be right back after a quick break, and we'll have our man Tim in here for our picks of the week.
Play for your chance to win our $80,000 Wheel and Deal giveaway with free play and cash prizes. It's time to win big. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
All right, guys, we are back with Champion Sports Talk, and this segment, we got Mr. Tim in, as always, and this is a segment that I like to call Take It to the Bank. And I was thinking about this segment, and I was laughing this morning, and I was thinking one of our partners is Sabrina Doré agency over there, the insurance agency. And I'm going to have to call and see if she's got any insurance for bad bets because we've had some of those so far. I wonder if she can
insure your parlay?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Joey's uninsurable at this point.
Well, let me just say, first of all, Clay Travis was 5-9 last week. Not that I'm a Clay Travis fan. Hey, it happened.
So Tim, a while ago, you know we've got dozens of fans out there. That is including staff, family members, and everybody on the premises.
My mom's watching.
Yeah. So out of our dozens of fans out there, one of them sent this letter in, and it's asking Mr. Joey Goose Egg Martin,
where you going, Craig?
if he will pick Mississippi State to beat LSU this weekend, so they can be sure that the LSU Tigers win the game.
Seems like a solid strategy.
Yeah, it could be anybody out there that sent that in. Who knows? But
it's an LSU fan. We know that much.
That's right. That's right. So our records right now, Tim, college you're 1-1.
That's right.
And pro you're 0-1. You gave some good picks out there, but the one that you put last week, you won a lot of the ones that you talked about, but the one that you put your name on was Denver, and it didn't come through.
Thank you for the reminder.
Right now, I am 2-0 in college and 1-0 in pro. Been a little luck involved. My Oregon prediction last week almost. I mean, it was close.
Last pick 6 at the end.
That's right. You texted me and said, "Man, you covered at the end." And then Joey, like I said, we all know his new nickname until further notice is going to be Goose Egg. So we'll.
I walk in and everybody's swarming to me.
Come
on, we can wait on you. Come on.
He's actually the most popular man in the casino right now. Everybody wants to know what he's going to say.
Everybody's fading Joey.
But hey, we're here, and we've got to take it to the bank. Lots of the week here, and you're going to have a chance to redeem yourself.
I need it.
So let's do this. I'll start. Let's start with college,
all right,
and I'll give you all a chance to get your notes together. You want to start out, Joey? You ready?
Sure.
What is your college lock of the week?
Okay, my one I almost picked. I like Kansas State -4.5, but I'm gonna go with Mississippi State +9.5. You're welcome, emailer. I just think LSU doesn't play well in the morning. The passing game is going to be a problem for LSU, and I think they'll keep it close. I think it's a 3-point game.
I've got that one. I've got that one starred. I've got the Kansas State starred too.
Okay.
I wish I would have caught that Kansas State a little earlier. I think it was a little lower. I think at one point it might have been like 3.5, and now it's moved to 5.5. Starting to get in that territory that scares me a little bit, but I think Kansas State's going to cover that too. So I think both of those they're fair picks.
Thanks, man.
Hey, you heard it, fair.
Fair picks. That's right. I'm looking at two games. I'm looking at that UL Monroe Texas A&M game, and I'm looking at the Alabama game, and I'm looking at them for opposite reasons here.
Okay.
I think one is going to be a lot closer than people think, and I think one's going to get ugly quick.
I think I know where you're going, too.
I think, and I don't like doing these big picks, but I think I'm going to go. I think my lock of the week is going to be Alabama. I think they're going to cover the 32.5. I really don't like. Again, I don't like the large spreads, but poor South Florida. If Alabama doesn't cover the 32.5 this week, I think it's time to say they've got some bigger problems than we think. So that's going to be my lock of the week is the Alabama to cover 32.5. What you got, Tim? What do you think about our picks so far?
I like them. I was on the other side of yours, so I'm not sure. After the performance Alabama put out last week, one of two things are going to happen. It's either going to get ugly quick because they got something to prove, or this is going to be a down year for Alabama. We'll see. I was all over the board this week. I've got a couple starred here. I was looking at the LSU game, but I was looking at the other side. I just couldn't get there. I hope LSU covers. I'll probably throw a little wager on them, but I just couldn't make it my pick of the week. I was looking at Georgia, minus 27.5. They've been pretty impressive, but like Ronnie said, these big numbers week in and week out, it's tough. At some point, they're going to have an off week, or they're going to pull their starters in the fourth quarter and get backdoored. So
that's a conference game.
I'm going to take a different approach this week, and instead of picking a side, I'm actually looking at the under on the Michigan Bowling Green game. Currently at the Magnolia Bluffs Sportsbook, we've got the over-under at 53.5. I don't think the total on that game is going to get there. I'm taking the under 53.5 for the Bowling Green Michigan Wolverine game.
Yeah, here. I'm trying to find it on my okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. 53.5. You're going to take the under.
Different. I don't think we've done an over/under for our official pick yet.
Oh man, that one scares me, Tim.
That's where I'm
We're
going.
going to have to see how that one plays out. Okay, well, that's interesting. 53.5 is Bowling Green. How are they? You must be giving Bowling Green a little bit more credit than maybe I'm doing.
No, I'm looking at Michigan, and they've been averaging 35, 37 points. And holding their opponents to very little. I don't think Bowling Green's going to score too much, but Michigan also, at least so far, hasn't been one of those teams that goes out there and needs to run up the scoreboard on teams. So
and I think Harbaugh's still out this week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That's fair points. All right, well let's jump over to the NFL side of things. Joey, what you looking like on the NFL?
By the way, I like your A&M thought, though. I really think they're going to blow out ULM because he just has to.
Yeah.
See, well, I'm actually on the other side of that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually on the other side of that. I don't think they're going to cover the 36.5. I think ULM's going to keep it within 25.
And they may be because Bowden and Jimbo are good friends. That may be a good reason to pick.
The good news is we're all on different sides of the game. So depending on who you like the most, somebody's guaranteed to win one side.
That's right.
Even me?
Well, you never know. Lightning could happen.
All right, I'm actually going to get my pain over early. I'm picking the game tonight. I like the Eagles minus 6.5.
You like the Eagles to cover?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to take the I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins this week. They're playing on the road at the Patriots. The Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites. If you would have told me a couple of years ago that I would be betting against Bill Belichick
That's right.
at home
That's right.
I would have told you that you're crazy, that there's no way I would do that, but that's where we're at right now. And also the Dolphins have given the Patriots fits for years, even when they were at their prime. The Dolphins have always kind of been that thorn in their side. Now it's usually the Miami game, but I think Miami's going to cover the 2.5.
I like that pick, Ronnie. Craig has escaped again, but I think we should push that up to 3. So if you like Ronnie's bet, you should get in here soon because that should be a 3-point game, not 2.5, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The line should be 3. So good catch on that. I think Craig might have made a mistake. We'll get that fixed.
He's back in his email machine.
So I looked at the game tonight. And, there's something about Thursday night games. I generally like the under on Thursday night games. So I did have under 49 start for tonight. But I'm gonna pull a cheap plug here. We do have a Saints watch party Monday night right here in the Sportsbook.
Yep.
I'm expecting a good crowd for that. We've got the Natchez Young Professionals coming down, partnered with Listen Up Y'all. Hopefully you guys are going to be in as well.
Yep. We shouted out a little bit earlier, our friends over at 95.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
Now, you know what they told me, though?
What's that?
They told me that they're going to bring a sheet and they were going to cover up my head but leave Joey's head open. I said, that's a fair point. I don't blame them.
That's a 6 o'clock game, right?
That's a 6:15 game.
Okay.
Hope to see everybody here, but that's going to be my pick. I think the Saints get it done on the road, -3.5. Maybe a little bit of a homer pick because I'm hoping you all come down and watch the game with me. But that's where I'm at this week. I think the Saints are gonna perform well on the road and cover that 3.5.
3.5 on the road. Okay. All right. Well, we have got we've got them locked in. So my favorite part of the week, I see Miss Tracy over here. What we got here, Tracy? Is this buffalo quesadillas?
Buffalo chicken quesadillas.
Oh my goodness.
None for you, Tim. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
I think this is a sympathy food for me.
That's right. My favorite part of the week, every week. So I'm earning mine. I don't know. I'll just say that.
I'm keeping Tim in business.
Thank you.
So,
I don't know if that was a subtle hint from Tracy. Is Tracy going Buffalo Bills this week? Is that your pick? Buffalo quesadilla, Buffalo Bills?
Okay, yes.
There you go.
So,
I may have to start using that method.
Look, we want to say thank you to Alan coming over and sharing some good information with us. Thanks to Tim and the staff. As always, I'm glad that we did the show this week. Like I said, we almost canceled the show because of the circumstances, but I'm glad that we pushed through. I had a lot of fun talking ball, as always. I want to thank all of our viewers, all of our awesome partners out there, including Magnolia Bluffs Casino, including Concordia Sentinel, including Florida's. I had to see which hat I had on today. So all of our awesome partners out there, thank you again to everybody for watching the show. Thank you personally for me and my family for all your thoughts and prayers as we go through these difficult times. God bless everybody out there, and as always, have a champion day. If you like what we're doing here at Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, make sure to like, follow, share on Facebook and Instagram, and visit our website, MissLouChampions.com. It costs you nothing, and it helps us to continue to shine the spotlight on awesome people right here in our community.